Well, if I told you the picture you're seeing on the screen right now is a physical representation of your business and your daily routine. You see, for the first 2 years of my old business, I used to think I was the most productive person ever. But really the 12-hour days I said I was doing were distracted, inefficient and non-impactful. And I knew deep down that I could have finished all my work tasks by 3 p.m. Before you disagree, the truth is most entrepreneurs think they're scaling the right way, but it's just full of chaos, poor focus, and they're on the brink of burnout every single day. And if they literally just spent a few minutes fixing this one singular problem, that would allow them to have consistent 5 to 10k months in a 6-hour workday. And so there's a blueprint that has allowed most of my clients to literally scale their business to 5k per month online by working 6 hours a day. And it's that same blueprint I've used to scale faster by working less. Let's dive in. You see, this is a day as an average entrepreneur. He wakes up, he checks his phone, he constantly switches tasks throughout the entire day, responding to tons of messages on Instagram, Slack and WhatsApp, and they sacrifice the free time they once had for more busy work where they get nothing done and it's full of poor focus. That leads to two things. The first is unnecessary work that doesn't even have to be done, and also more stress and Sisyphus on a random Tuesday. And once I stepped back and realized this isn't a way to operate a business at all, I found a pattern that differentiated the days where I was most productive. I would finish my work at 3 p.m, make the most money in my business, to the days where I'd just be unfocused the entire day. I would get nothing done and I would slave away at my desk for 12 hours a day making nothing online. And I call it the reflection window. And it was essentially the idea that the first 30 minutes dictates the entire day. What you do in those 30 minutes when you wake up is going to manifest into the entire day. It sounds strange, I know, but the things you do in the morning are always going to set the baseline standard or expectation of what you're going to do in a day. And the metric that this uses is something called dopamine. For example, if you wake up and you instantly start scrolling on your phone, you do nothing but scroll for the first 30 minutes, that's going to set a very high dopamine baseline that you're going to have to meet in the entire day. And so work isn't going to meet that at all, and so you're just going to want to scroll, going to be unfocused. But instead, if you wake up and you do a small morning routine, or maybe you get straight to work, that's going to have a very low expectation for the day, or dopamine baseline, right? And so you're going to be able to meet that just by working. That's exactly how you get into this rhythm, this flow state throughout the entire day, and you just keep working, you don't lose focus. And to be honest, that's common sense. You probably already know that. You probably know that you shouldn't really scroll on your phone when you wake up, or you shouldn't watch 10 YouTube videos when you wake up. But staying in this productive rhythm, this productive flow state, is an entirely different ballgame. And so this next part in this blueprint, in my opinion the most important part, is showing you exactly how to stay in this rhythm so you can complete your work much faster and make more money. And this part of the blueprint goes over many of the resources I've given away for free, the free templates inside my free school community. You can check it out below if you want to. But the first thing you need to understand if you want to actually stay in this productive cycle in a day and complete your work by 3 p.m. is understanding the 4 stages of a flow state. And I know I've talked about this a lot on my channel, but you need to make sure you understand this and make sure you're following it. Essentially, if you want to stay in a flow state, which is basically this altered state of consciousness where you're 500% more productive, you're more creative, you have enhanced learning, basically everything to do with your cognitive ability is just much better, you need to always be in this 4-stage cycle, because most entrepreneurs either skip the stages or they just don't even know what they're doing. So the first one is called struggle. This is some kind of challenge you're approaching, right? So maybe you start the day, you have this huge task you have to get done, maybe you're recording a new VSL and you just don't want to do it, and so it's a bit challenging, right? This is the first stage in flow state, and it's your compass. And once you've pushed through that for a period of time, you reach the next stage in a flow state, which is the release. This is when all the cortisol, the bad cortisol, gets flushed from your body, your system, and so you reach a state of effortlessness, and this is where the flow comes in. This is the third stage. Time starts to speed up, work becomes effortless, you are 500% more productive, and this usually lasts for around 1 to 2 hours. And the final stage is a recovery. This is the most important part, and sadly this is where most people get it completely wrong. You see, most people get into the loop of thinking this flow state, this 1 to 2 hour phase, lasts the entire day, when it doesn't. You need to recover the brain chemicals for that state because it's very expensive to the brain. And you can recover this with things like exercise or cold showers, and so this is basically what I do. Every single time I start to lose focus by 2 p.m, 3 p.m, I just go in the gym, or I just do like a cold shower or something. That really helps me become more focused and recovers all the brain chemicals, so I can go through the exact same cycle once again. And so all you want to do here is just make sure you follow this routine, this format through the entire day. Do not try to go from struggle all the way to flow, because it just will not work. And because I'm the best YouTuber ever, I'm going to give you something super simple you can do, and it's actually something the Navy SEALs use every single day to stay focused and alert for the entire day. And it's something called a flow trigger. These are basically power ups you can use to stay focused and stay in this flow state, right? And the main one I want to tell you about is something called risk. Everyone knows what risk is, right? You probably don't understand what risk is. It's basically some kind of challenge, some kind of fear that makes you take better action, act with speed, right? But essentially this activates the fight or flight response, and this is when you become super focused, you're more alert. And to activate this right now inside your routine, all you need to do is just have a very early cutoff time inside your workday. Imagine your usual cutoff time is 6 p.m. and you move it to 3 p.m. Well, now you're going to act with speed. You're going to naturally prioritize the tasks that actually matter. And so this is the easiest, by far the easiest way to shorten your work hours, become way more focused, and operate with much more efficiency and speed. And now if you follow that system, I'm not going to gatekeep anything, bro. You are going to be able to enter flow state for multiple hours every single day, and that's all you need to do. You'll be able to make more money online and scale faster. However, to make this consistent, to make sure you do it every single day, to make it predictable, you need to make sure everything is the same every single day. You see, one of the main functions inside the brain is pattern recognition, and every single habit is tied onto an environment and a time. And so this is a really big power of routines. When you do something in order, in the same routine, in the same environment, in the same time every single day, it starts to become a habit. And so you can make deep work and getting into a flow state a habit if you just follow that system, you follow that routine every single day. And usually it takes around 21 days to build that habit inside the subconscious. And so if you can follow that routine for around that time, what will happen is you'll start to crave flow state more than anything else in your life. Because the thing is, flow state is the most addictive state in the entire world. And I know that sounds crazy to hear, but it really is, even more than class A drugs. And this is exactly how you trick your brain to crave more deep work, more flow state, and less of the busy work that just clouds your day and makes it very unproductive. Okay, so if you follow that entire blueprint, I can guarantee you, man, you'll be able to make more money online in your business. You'll be able to finish your work by at least 3 p.m, but you won't be able to worry about work or anything like that after that time. And by the way, like I said, if you're an entrepreneur who wants to get into a flow state for 6+ hours a day, completely blow up your business, click the first link in the description to join my free community. Okay, have an amazing day.